educate us on what he does. I always like to ask. Tell us something no one knows about you.
Oh man, I'm one of those kids that did have a horse girlfriend. I had a horse.
Trust that one.
All right, so gonna kind of go through my entire life story. No, just kidding. So my early life. So this is my mother and father. I was born here. My father was from Mexico and my mother was from Guatemala. But I did grow up in a predominantly Hispanic, Mexican, Guatemalan community and culture. So as a young age, my mom dressed my brother and I and their grandkids as mariachi, and this is the first tequila bottle that I ever had. So I did grow up in the area. I did play trumpet in middle school. I was first chair. I am a Boy Scout. I'm an Eagle Scout, actually. Oh, surprise. I did play hair. And hair. There's more hair pictures. So I did play football at Inman. I also played soccer in high school, college, and in some Mexican and Romanian leagues. So that's me with all that hair. Yes. I weighed 160 pounds, so I look like a beanpole. So just moving on to the career. So tortillas. Okay. My mother and father started Los Amigos Tortilla Manufacturing here in Atlanta in 1969. My father passed away in '82. And that kind of introduced my brother and I into the business, and we manufactured all of these products. Now, in '92, that's when I bought the company from my mother and from my brother. So pretty much, we had just different visions, so I took it a different way, got in debt, but was able to get out of debt. So the product that I manufactured was tortilla chips. So whenever you went to a Mexican restaurant and they served you a basket of chips, that was the product that I made. So I distributed product to food service distributors, to Mexican restaurants, all over the Southeast, and exported to England and Sweden. And I'll talk more about that in a little bit. So my family, I do have 4 kids from the same mother. I always have to clarify that. So this is my oldest. She's married. This is my son. He's second oldest, and then third, and then fourth. She's in Guatemala right now. I do have my little fur baby, Bindi. She's an 80-pound pit with 2 cats. My hobbies. Tequila. Everyone's like, "What, do you ever own a tequila thing?" No, I don't own anything. I just like it, and plus it's kind of oh, the tequila guy. It's kind of like something sexier than commercial real estate. I do enjoy tequila. I do know a lot about it. I do like drinking it. I also like bourbons, but we can talk more about that later. I do like to travel. I am adventurous. I do like to go skydiving. Physical fitness is important to me, so I do go to a CrossFit gym. Gymnastics is something that I'm really proud about doing, so this is called a muscle up. Just kind of getting from below the bar to above the bar. And then we get into another passion of mine, which is cars. So I do have a '64 Impala. That's my Cholo, my East LA. I also go to the track. So I go to the track at Road Atlanta. This is just a little clip of me at Watkins Glen in New York. I'm about to overtake a Ferrari, but then moments later, Kyle Busch passes me. So I'll show you who Kyle Busch is. So I pass him. So I look up in my mirror and I see him, and I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to move off to the side. And right behind him is a carbon fiber Lamborghini. I'm like, yep, go right ahead. And now we get into the really sexy part. Commercial real estate. So it's all about representation. Commercial real estate's a little bit more wild, wild west. Not everything is spelled out. You definitely have to fend for yourself. And there's really 2 types of sides or roles, okay? So you got owner-operators and investors, landlords that own the property. They either use it for their own purposes or they rent it out. Then you got the other side, which is the tenant or the occupant, okay? So that's where pretty much business owners will lease a space, and it gives them flexibility financially and allows them to move if they need to. So these are the areas of investments that I'm going to kind of go into. So these are all what we call sectors, okay? Now there's different approaches to marketing and buying and selling these sectors. And pretty much I'm going to talk more about the platforms. So these are very common platforms that are free. It's like the Zillow, if you will, of commercial real estate. You can go to LoopNet and Crexi. It's free to search. But if you do find something, okay, from a listing agent, you know, it is good. You don't necessarily need me, but it is good to have me. My fee generally is built into the listing agent side. There has been a big lawsuit about that. So we do have to engage in a brokerage agreement now where it spells out what my role is, and I act as a fiduciary on your behalf, as well as we outline what the fee is. But 99.9% of the time, my fee is covered by this listing agent or the seller's broker. Now, where you do need me is if you do have a property and you do want to market it. So I have these platforms that I pay for. They're expensive, but it really broadens into every realm of person that you could reach to be able to maximize your investment. So kind of just the quick math of investment. So it's really simple. It's not the buy-all, end-all. But cap rate is what investors look into, and that's just the net operating expense over price. And then the net operating expense equals the cap rate of times the price. Just to give you an example, this is a common investment property that I help people sell or buy. So this is a Family Dollar. We call this a single tenant net leasing. So I help my clients sell it for 1.5. It was a 7.4 cap rate. That just tells you that if you paid cash, your return would be $115,000. My personal investments, and this is really kind of why I do what I do. I have my own personal investments. So this is one that while I had the tortilla company, I acquired this building. It's a 30,000 square foot warehouse that we did operate out of, but now there's a nightclub and there's a furniture company there. I also do own a single tenant net leasing place in McDonough. This was a home that I bought that I was going to move in, but I ended up leasing it. And this is right across the street from the Atlanta International School. Thank you. And this is just a small commercial property that I have. Now, when I went into commercial real estate, I started off with Bull Realty. So this was my first deal, $8.7 million. This was through the Ardent Group that I worked really hard to get and close the deal. It took me about 8 months to do. But this had about 4 or 5 different tenants in there. One of them was the state, and the other one was an aviation company. But that was something that I really got my feet wet into, really leveraged all my contacts. But I don't always do 8.7. It's always nice to do $8.7 million deals. So this is a medical doctor in Smyrna that helped sell his little office. You know, he had it listed, it expired. I was able to market it, got it sold in about 6 months. This is one that I do enjoy the investment bunch, which is the single tenant net leasing. And this is one that John Bagwell helped me close on. Whenever I have control over that, I always try to push towards our fellow BNIers. So I know I went really quick, so I kind of wanted to, I know I have 2 minutes. Thank you very much. Does anyone have any questions? I'm always here to help out. Yes?
Is the single tenant thing the niche that you like the best?
That's the one that I do like the best, yeah, just the investment part of it, yeah. Those are the easy ones. There's no emotion, it's all numbers. Yes?
I thought the NAR, the realtor, the whole lawsuit, I thought that Georgia didn't adopt it. Does that apply to you now?
So yes, they did. So for me, it was kind of weird because we always protected our fee. We always had to protect our fee in some form or another. Because there are some listing brokers that, yeah, they do have like a 6% commission, but then they're like, that's just all for them. Mm-hmm. So that's when we're like, uh-oh, we need to talk to them. But that's always been a standard operating procedure for us, is to put that fee up front with our clients. So for us, the change in commercial realm really wasn't anything.
Gotcha. Is there any commercial business properties that you don't want to?
So land is hard. Land is hard because there's a lot of like overlay districts and uses that are limited in certain municipalities. Like I did one land up in Stonecrest. They were right on the edge underneath these power lines. It was a mixed family use. It was really hard, but I was able to get them to do a special exemption for it. So land is tricky. Then you have environmental stuff.
One more question, please.
Yeah.
Are usually the commercial properties you sell occupied?
It's either occupied or vacant. It could be either or. So it just depends. Like there's so many scenarios. But yeah, it could be either or.
Okay.
I just wanted to, real quick, if I may.
Yeah.
What do you look for in like investors? That you work with? Like if there's people that are coming up.
I mean, you definitely have to have some liquidity, and so that's the biggest hurdle. So, but I do have people that leverage, their other properties, and they'll finance things, although lately it hasn't been as great as we all know.
Thank you so much. Ruben. Please schedule a one-to-one with Ruben and learn more about his business.
I have a little brochure here if someone wants to pick up on the way out.
Go for 64, the one race.
No.
Now it's time for our Vice President's report. All right, everybody, our members know what this is.